Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all fandoms, welcome to the Ferret Raccoon podcast, episode 73. I am Ace.
And I'm the Chicken Raccoon.
And it's the second week of, the second podcast of October for us.
Yes.
It's been the spoopy season.
Definitely, yeah. We're going to be getting another podcast this October as well.
Yeah. So quite special.
Yeah, I guess, this October has proven to be quite special for a lot of reasons still to come, which you guys will find out. But yeah, it's been good. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like October right now.
No, it's weirdly sunny, and that's just weird for England.
Yeah, the heat is rising. I think the reason why on these podcasts we've been speaking so much about the weather is because it's been out of whack.
Yeah,
big time.
Really out of balance.
It's been out of control.
I mean, if people live in North America, I'm sure they know this.
Yeah.
Considering the fires in some places, the floodings,
which is
the cold.
Just been, I don't know what's going on with weather right now, but it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, should mention as well, my voice is a bit sore right now, so that's why I'm kind of speaking like this. And also because we're somewhat testing out a new setup for the most part, so we'll see how that goes in future. So let us know if it does sound nice for the most part. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys must know the email is raccoonplusfriends.gmail.com. Anything you need to know or ask us about, you can hit us up there. Link in the description. But it's been a while since you've been on the podcast, Ace.
I took a siesta from the previous one.
Yes, and some other previous recording as well. We needed that break.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of nice little secret projects we've got coming up.
Yes, very soon.
But managed to do quite a bit during that little time off, I guess.
Yeah, thanks to that day off.
Yeah. Managed to watch 100 things just in that day alone.
Everything was finished, yeah.
Exactly. But there are 3 specific things I really wanted to talk to because I think they either deserve mention or are current enough.
Okay.
The first one being the TV show Mindhunter, which by David Fincher for Netflix.
Yes.
The show's amazing for starts. Just to give a little background, it's set in the 70s when they're discovering what serial killings are and the whole thought process of serial killers as being this different kind of crime. It's great. The dialogue is amazing. I think Fincher has a talent for finding great writers of dialogue because all of his films have that and his TV show is no different. If you want just a bit more understanding, the Clarice Starling Hannibal Lecter stuff from Silence of the Lambs, imagine that but for a whole series.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's great. I love it.
I saw the trailer originally and it was interesting but at the same time it didn't really give too much away, and I'd imagine you're doing the same as well because I'm literally guessing that we're diving fairly deep into the mind just as an example. I don't really want to spoil anything for anyone else because series is pretty new, if I remember correctly.
I think it literally came out Thursday the 12th or Friday the 13th, so very new.
Yeah, very new, especially about 2 days this podcast going up. So there's still time to catch up, guys.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I really binge watched this with my brother, so yeah.
Fair enough.
And one thing I want to say, and this is a little cool thing about TV shows that you can't really do on network TV. The episode's lengths vary very much. The longest episode is an hour long. The shortest is 34 minutes. I love that.
And it's all over the place throughout the series. That's interesting.
In between 40 to 50 minutes each episode. And I'm really happy with that. And it means they clearly had as much time as they wanted for each episode.
I would imagine, given the fact that some serious planning must have gone into each episode kind of having its core basis, almost to the point where they weren't really treating it like a series, but more an episodic visual event to some extent. I only need 38 minutes on this. I need an hour on this one. That's rather interesting, and that's something I would like to see adopted, especially in shows that really do need it.
Definitely. It's the power you can do when you're on network. Yes,
of course.
The next thing I want to talk about, which is kind of the hot thing to talk about-ish, being Blade Runner 2049. It's performing under budget, under box office.
Is that the only thing you wanted to talk about?
No.
Because apparently no one wants to talk about this film, but everyone wants to talk about this film at the same time.
I saw it. I apparently saw it early. I didn't realise.
You kind of did. There's been a lot of premiere and early showings that came out, so I was very surprised when Ace hit me up saying he'd already seen it. I knew he was going to see it day one, but that still caught me off guard for the most part.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. I have my problems with it, which we might be talking about in a different video.
Yeah.
But overall, it's definitely one of the better films this year. And it's not just because them visuals, bro.
Damn graphics.
Exactly. Which seems to be the only thing everyone's going on at the moment.
Yes, that's kind of like my only real takeaway, just from the very few comments, because I don't ever read reviews.
Yeah.
So, I mean, literally we can come up on a review and discussion to talk about a film, and I could be like, I loved it, and then Ace could literally be like, I hated it.
Yeah, exactly.
It could literally be like that, because I don't know what people are saying, and I never really care for the most part. That's just how I am, and that's kind of how I think a lot of people should definitely not follow like me as if I'm some kind of perfect example, but just always make sure you have your own opinion no matter what anyone says about something you either do or don't like.
Exactly, because otherwise there'd be a lot of stuff that I love that I'd hate.
Yeah.
Because it's part of that minor contrarian thing.
Or people wouldn't need to try when making films and TV shows. We're all different, and you should all be happy about that.
Yeah. The last thing is The Babysitter, again, back to Netflix.
Yes, we were going to talk about this on the podcast in terms of the trailer, but because Ace had already seen it, it wouldn't quite work.
Yeah.
There's no point really reviewing a trailer if someone's basically going to go, yeah, it's this, it's that, you know.
Yeah. But it's the horror comedy by McG, who everyone must know from when he made Charlie's Angels and Charlie's Angels for Yes. Not really the best things to say when selling this film.
No, that's why it wasn't in the trailer. Because you mentioned that from the guy who brought you Charlie's Angels.
I would be day one watching that, which I did.
Jeez.
But it's a really great horror comedy. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's only like 86 minutes, which, quite short. Again, I thought the dialogue was great, the pacing of the whole film in general, and it was very self-aware without being obnoxious.
Yeah.
Obviously, the premise from the trailer is guy has a babysitter. Well, this kid has a babysitter, and it turns out that she's part of a weird cult with her friends.
Yeah.
And he has to basically survive against them.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I was surprised. Like, I thought I was going to enjoy it. I even said to you I thought the trailer was fun, but really enjoyed it. Highly recommend it.
I liked the trailer. Just didn't like the use of music in it. It was just bizarre. Soft Cell Tainted Love. I was like,
it does make sense in context of the film,
but still, it was like, when I see people use songs like that, it's kind of like, you just got the rights to a popular song. I see what it is.
But I'll definitely say it works.
I much prefer you use the original version than some weird remixed movie trailer version, which we're going to talk about in a bit.
God.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, that's really what I talked about. I highly recommend basically everything I talked about.
Oh yeah, of course. Otherwise you wouldn't have brought it up.
Well, sometimes I talk about the bad stuff.
Sometimes we do. It's worth mentioning sometimes. But I was fairly busy throughout most of this week, so I didn't really get to do much. I've unfortunately missed 2 films I really wanted to see, which is a big shame. But then again, when you get another job, you pretty much take it. Yeah. But all I can really say is, I'm doing a lot of editing for this October and a little bit further in there and a little bit more other videos plans. Hopefully they'll happen. Hopefully YouTube won't just immediately remove them once they go up. Yeah. We'll see. YouTube's being a bit bizarre right now.
It's very iffy.
But I think pretty much everyone on the platform's already talked about that, so we can go ahead and skip that. The only film I did see this week was Kingsman: The Golden Circle.
Okay.
Which I really did enjoy. Okay. I was really happy with this film. It's not the greatest film in the whole world, but it was exactly what I wanted.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I've heard very mixed stuff about this. I was mixed on the film.
I can understand the mixed opinions in that, but for me, it was just like it's one of those films where it's just in the right point for me. It's just like I'm not gonna say the film is fantastic. What I'm saying is the film is it's just good. Yeah, it's just good for me. It's just what I wanted. Yeah. But obviously, I do have my very small complaints, which I guess hurts the film. A lot less than other people. I've not seen any reviews. I don't know what people are saying about this film. I don't care.
I think I watched Ralph the Movie Makers like a week after I saw it, which that's literally the only thing I've seen.
I don't. Yeah, I think that he did that review too early for me to even want to see it, so I've probably forgotten about it, but,
Yeah.
whatever. I said that also. I went the night before at a party, surprise party for a friend. It's not why my voice sounds like this, it's because of work.
All the booze.
I'm not coming from a hangover. There was booze, but yeah, it was a fun time. We were up at one of the more notorious places in London for going out and having a party and such. But it was a really fun occasion, as I've already kind of said to Ace, and as it's already kind of been documented in my life. The day was literally all about meat, alcohol, dark people, receding hairlines, and gravity burning.
I love that so much.
That's how my evenings out with friends and party usually end up.
That should be an autobiography name.
Yes, that's what it's going to be called. Literally.
Yeah.
Receding hairlines by... But yeah, no, but that's what we've been up to. Hopefully we'll be able to get a lot more done. I think we'll have a lot more to talk about because it will be the final podcast of October, and I've got something special, but
nice.
Later towards that. But let's actually jump into our topic. A lot of trailers. And a good section goes to one particular culprit, but we'll get to that. Ace, I believe you have the first topic we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, so obviously we're really big fans of Pokemon.
Oh, no.
A bit of surprise there. And
I can hear people clicking off.
Recently there was the trailer for Pokemon the Movie I Choose You, which is the 20th Pokemon film.
Which is scary to think that.
I know. Considering there are only 2 Pokemon films I like.
Mm.
It's like, well, you're not doing great. But this trailer is essentially the film's going to be a retelling of the Indigo League. Basically the original adventure, Ash meeting Pikachu,
the
all
only
that stuff.
series people care about.
Yeah. Well, surprisingly people like Sun and Moon series. I haven't watched it yet, so
that's because Sun and Moon is very fun.
Mm.
That's why it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not trying to tell a grand story. It's just let's go on an adventure and find some Pokemon, which is great.
Which is what the series is about.
Yeah, exactly what it's about. Yeah.
But so obviously I'm gonna have issues because I'm like a massive Pokemon snob. I say it with my fedora hat.
No, you don't. No, take the fedora hat off. It's fine for you to criticize Pokemon, but you got to take that hat off. Ace, put it down.
Damn it! I wanted to wear this throughout the whole video.
No one can see.
It's true.
Thumbnail's just gonna be an image of some guy wearing a fedora hat.
Yeah, we'll just pick some random guy.
Just some random guy. Yeah.
Ace Frehley.
Yeah.
From Kiss.
Oh jeez.
So yeah, my biggest issue is there seems to be modern Pokemon, like Incineroar and stuff in that, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, so you don't like that, but it takes place in the Sun and Moon series.
No, I don't give a shit. This is my retelling of the original. Get that out of there. I want it.
Get that weak shit out of my Pokemon.
And I saw like I think Yveltes and the X and Y legendaries. I saw those in the trailer. I was like, what?
That was the only thing where I was like, I'd much prefer if you just focused on Ash going on about, was it Ho-Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Going about that legendary, because I think that's grand enough, but obviously given that in comparison Ho-Oh is obviously not the greatest thing in the world, but I think if you're really going to go for a retelling of this iconic story, I would keep it nice and simple. I mean, I don't mind. I think it could actually help add a little bit more originality to the film, especially if they're going for just a straight up retelling. I think it's just going to be something a little bit more for me to look at. I mean, the animation does look nice, which is good. Yeah. The voice acting, especially the English voice acting, we're linking you the English dub in the description and download link. I think it's good. Like usually with anime, something can be a bit iffy, but I think for the most part it's sounding good, which I'm happy about. The only thing that I would kind of want, and the only thing that could be a negative, is I kind of just want it to focus on Ash and Pikachu. Yeah. I don't mind if characters tag along for a little bit, but as long as it's not the whole film.
And it definitely seems like he's got tag-alongs at parts.
Yeah, it's just people who are probably going to be like, we're going to the next town. I don't know if it's going to be anyone constantly with him. Yeah. But it's kind of like, I think that'd be much better if we just follow Ash, because if he really is the hero everyone likes, and let's get his side of the story. Like I said, nothing wrong with him tagging along with friends and that, as long as it's not the whole adventure. I guess the other thing I would want to say is I would kind of like something a little bit more in tune with Pokemon Origins.
Yeah, I get you.
But I guess nostalgia wins.
I like Ash. I know everyone hates him.
No, I'm not saying that. I hate him.
But I think the issue with this, obviously compared to that, is that part of the film series, it's always the Pokemon animated series, and that's nothing like the Origins stuff. I would be happy for an Origins thing, but it wouldn't. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, we already have Origins, so there's no real need to do it again. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
When I mean something more in tune, I was kind of talking about actually how Origins portrayed the world of Pokemon for the most part, as we were kind of just seeing everything unfold in this almost game-like way, this collection. Because I don't think too much grand is going to happen to Ash. I don't think he's going to be at the Pokemon League or anything like that. But I'm just saying more something that kind of adds that more manga realistic side of the Pokemon. As soon as you have that opportunity and you are retelling something, why don't you tell it slightly differently like Origins did? But maybe from Ash's point of view to some extent. That's my only thing. I'm not saying it's bad. It's not
I get you.
I'm just kind of saying would have liked a little hint of that sprinkled on this film.
I do think it's going to like literally do the whole Indigo League, but it's going to be very like it's going to do kind of what Origins did, where it skips over some of the gym leaders. You just see a frame.
Yeah, it's going to have to.
Yeah.
I hope not a frame. I hope at least some animation, because that's very lazy, guys.
Well, that's what it did in Origins too. There was like maybe a frame for some gym leaders, and that was it. And they just like moved the camera slightly, so it made it look like something was happening.
But not for a film.
No.
Not for
Hopefully
a film.
not.
In a series, that's fine, because you could consider that a staple of animation, because they always make sure that those frames are heavily detailed and they've actually got life in them.
Yeah.
In a film, it's not going to work. It's going to come off as lazy.
But I definitely think they're going to use that iconic image of like Ash in the league like stadium, just looking down with all the lights off and everything. I think it's going to have that.
Possibly.
Which, if so, it's going to be quite sad.
Depends on how memorable that scene is for them and a lot of other people.
But the worst thing is, Pikachu looks like a piece of shit. It's not the classic Pikachu where he's all round and chubby.
Well,
fuck that.
Pikachu's had to change a lot over the years. He is their mascot, and he has to look fit.
0 out of 10. Worst film I've ever seen.
Don't know about that.
No, I do actually have a ticket to see it, so I will talk about it when it's out.
Sure thing. Yeah, let's move on to our second trailer, which is a film that, I don't know, they just didn't want to show us this trailer for the longest time.
Yeah, it was just disappeared.
But finally it's here. We have the sequel to Pacific Rim Uprising.
Yeah.
And, boy, the sequel has me a little bit worried now.
Okay.
The problem is with it is as soon as the rapping started...
Oh, God. That was horrible.
As soon as the rapping started, and I don't know what the guy was like saying, square up or something like that, or grow up or something. I tried
grow up
or some rubbish like that. I was just kind of like, oh no, what have they done? What have they done to my film?
No, I get you. I think, I don't know, it came off to me as like, you just see Steve Buscemi walk on screen, it's like, hey kids. It's like...
It's that, and also that it's trying to be more of a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, alright,
It kind of feels like someone looked at the original film and didn't understand what made that film great and what that film needed to improve on, and kind of just went, let's do the opposite of that film, because that's why the film didn't quite make as much money.
Right.
So now we've got a more brightly lit and a more action-heavy film.
Okay.
And I don't, to appeal more to the masses, but I don't think the masses will care. Because it's not unique enough when you do that compared to other things that are out right now.
Well, I think the bright and colourful, like the saturation, that's actually what made me interested in this film. The previous film felt really like dark.
But that film had a style to it. This one doesn't.
Yeah, but I like this. It feels 4-color colours, like style. The classic comics, in a way, and I like that.
To me, it looks like you could splice footage from Transformers and you wouldn't tell the difference.
I wouldn't go that far.
I would, because I think they're literally going for a dumber film, and I think they're going for a Transformers ripoff.
I don't see
Because the problem is, now's the perfect time to strike. Transformers is falling the hell off the rig, and, come in with your big robot film and be the good one, and then, because, what competition do they have? The Bumblebee spin-off film.
Oh god, I forgot about
that. There's no competition there.
Yeah.
Might as well strike while the iron's hot. And this kind of turns me off. I'm not saying the film is complete rubbish, because they could just be... It could be one of those trailers where they've taken all the action. I have no problem with action. One of my favourite things about the film was the world. And it looks like we're not focusing on the world. It looks like it's going to be, here's John Boyega, he gets in a robot and he's going to fight for the next 80 minutes.
I mean, again, it's like, imagine trying to advertise this film and it's like, okay, we're going to show the world, and it's just people walking around like talking about like the stuff like in the original. That trailer's going to get no one except for the diehards to go see it.
Well, that's who they should really be appealing to, but obviously they're kind of just saying, well, that film's garbage compared to this.
I just feel like they're keeping it off of the trailer, and it's going to be in the film.
Yeah, they're keeping it off in the trailer, but at the same time, that could be quite off-putting, because then if you do have those scenes with the talking and the raw booting, someone's going to come out and go, that was boring. I didn't like that. I wanted an action film for 90 minutes.
They already paid, so fuck them.
Wow, Ace, wow, Ace, do you work for Fox?
Yes.
Do you work for Fox?
No,
and
I work
Sony?
for Sony.
I was about to say
Universal.
Because isn't that like literally like on their head office? As soon as you walk in, you already bought a ticket.
Yes.
Yeah, you make for a great film executive.
I'm trying to get there.
Don't make a good film. Just make garbage and sell it really well.
But I think it's just trying to appeal to the mass in the trailer.
Yes, I think it is trying to appeal to the mass, but I'm worried as to if it's being misleading.
Yeah.
Because my worry is, well, my hope and my worry is we do get those moments of the world, because this world does look a little bit more futuristic. Yeah. It's got like a slight sci-fi look to it, and obviously there's going to have to be points where they're going to explain, how the robots work and the kaijus and all that. But at the same time, you're not showing that in the trailer, and you're showing me a dumb action film. People who want to see a dumb action film are going to go and see this film, and they're going to go, don't see that film. There was a bit for 10 minutes where they talked, and it was rubbish, and I don't like it, because that's how dumb people are. Yeah. When you appeal to those people, they will hit back. Unfortunately, we've kind of seen the same with new Blade Runner film, where I think people just aren't interested in it because people said, this is a great sci-fi. No. Yeah. Don't want to hear that, which is a shame.
It is possible that those people, they'll just go on their phones during those 10 minutes of talking, so they're like, oh no, it was great. I didn't even notice the talking.
That's not necessarily something you want to bank on.
Oh no, I agree. But it's highly possible.
As possible and as funny as that is, it's not something you want to bank on. No one should ever make anything with the intentions of, that's the moment where you get your phone out and text.
Well, they'll have like special earphones just for the idiots, and it'll say, don't worry, look at your phone now.
Oh, jeez.
And they'll be like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. And it's like, alright, take your earphones off. And they'll be like, oh, cool, action. I think I've solved cinemas.
Possibly should go run that idea to the cinema chain industry, because they need some help.
Call Paul Feige. I've got $1 billion idea.
Yeah. He'll help you out with that. Big time. Guy's desperate.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Well. But yes, right. We have the nice chunk now. Yeah. The nice Marvel chunk, because we have going on here. And now the first trailer is, the first thing we have to talk about, I should say, is going to be the teaser trailer for Runaways. I was holding out for a much better and longer trailer, but it looks like we ain't going to get that just yet. Yeah. But after watching this trailer, I had to dust off my comics just to confirm some changes, and I'm feeling this series a lot less. Okay. And I'm kind of starting to think that the series isn't going to work as a TV series. Right. Which is a shame, because I love Runaways. Yeah. It's a great series. I mean, I'm going to say this, the cast looked great. They looked the part. I think the performances are great. The dialogue's kind of killing me, though. Okay. It's one of those cases, I think, where it's someone writing with the intent of understanding teenagers and not understanding teenagers and not understanding what kind of teenagers these are. Yeah. I mean, the line, this is some Narnia shit. Yeah, that one was stuck out really for me. Bad. Yeah. Because, first of all, it's not a closet, dude. Yeah. That's the cabinet in your house. You should know what... You do live here, dude. You should know what that is. Yeah. It's a wine cabinet, not Narnia.
No, I agree. Like, that line kind of sticks, and because there's a silence for a few seconds, it stays in your head longer, and it sounds like very poor.
Comedic pause, do you think? I hope not, because that's not funny. I think
it was supposed to be like a whoa moment, not a...
But not after you say that.
No, I know.
Not after you said it. And there's a few lines where it was definitely kind of pounding to the more, you're special, you're this, and you're that, and I was like, that's great for the first episode.
Yeah.
Let's cut that out.
Yeah. As I said,
soon.
I think I said this to you before, that I think, similar to the whole Cloak and Dagger situation, this is footage from the pilot episode. Because it all looks like it takes place around the same-ish time. So...
I don't know. I think they probably spliced in later scenes, but just very vague ones. They
Possibly.
have to, because they're not going to be able to reveal everyone's power in the first episode.
Yeah.
Not unless it's an hour and a half.
Sometimes the pilots are longer.
Well, then they'd be rushing it, because not everyone discovers their power in the first, let's just say, episode. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
But I mean, the problem I'm having with this is the music didn't help.
No.
And everything is just feeling kind of limp for me.
Okay.
It's not working, and this is not me really fanboying. I'm not gonna come out and be like, I need to compare this, but I do have to compare a few things just to kind of prove my point in the disappointment. So the one scene that really stuck out to me was when Nico, she's the girl with the black hair, almost gothish, saying that she finds her staff in a cabinet.
Yeah.
And that really bothered me, because in the original series, it literally comes out of her chest.
Huh, okay.
And I was like, why would you change that? That's a great reveal to her power.
Do you see her taking it out of the cabinet in the trailer?
Kind of, yeah. She
okay.
literally, she it's like she brings it from a cabinet.
Okay.
Like, not unless that's a later scene where she somehow puts it back in the cabinet or something
or
like that.
Or it gets taken away from her.
But it always goes in her chest, regardless in the comic.
Maybe someone takes it away from her and puts it in the cabinet.
But they can't. Only her father would do that, and he would not be stupid enough to just put it in a cabinet. And the way it was, way in the way in the trailer where everyone's kind of going, "Oh, I got powers, I can do this."
Yeah.
It looked like it was the, "What's this?" kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's compared to the other girl, Carlina, who's essentially literally discovers in the group in the trailer that she glows brightly and colorfully and can fly.
Yeah.
That's really weak in comparison. And I don't understand that change, because it's going to make her look not as great. And I would hope that everyone is as equal. I mean, there's a girl who has a freaking Velociraptor. Velociraptor from the future. Yeah, old Lace to protect her. And I'm like, all right, you're making some people look lame now.
Yeah.
Because her reveal was great. And obviously you can do that special effect of a stuff coming out of a young girl's body, because you showed that you can do the other girl's effect. So, and also the very brief image we see of old Lance looks great. Yeah. So I don't know why that's changed. Why does she get the short end of the stick?
It might just be the little bit that's shown on the trailer isn't perfectly reflective. I mean, when it comes out,
my only guess is she finds in a covenant that goes in her chest, because they have to do the staff release, because that's a great way. I mean, that's a great way to kind of show her power in that, but it was just kind of it didn't fill me with a lot of hope. Those few things kind of like spoiled for me. It was kind of like like I said with the original reveal, I don't want no 90210 BS where we need to take 20 minutes to sit down and talk about my feelings and how John is not dating Jess anymore. I don't want that, because we don't need that. And much like with the director and some of the team, and I was just like, don't mess this up, because...
I'm happy with that 90210 shit in my Spider-Man, because that makes sense.
Yes, of course.
But, I really haven't read much of Runaways, so I can't say here, so considering what you're saying, it doesn't sound like a fit.
Yeah, it's...
Just hope it's not.
I am still hopeful, otherwise I'd come out and just be dissing this thing, but it's just like, some of the changes they've made are weird, because they have gold, and they've kind of just gone... No, especially with... I know I'm really caught up on that scene, but I'm just really trying to get a comparison out, because I hate when people say something is bad or say a change is bad just because it's not a reference to the comic. Yeah. Because sometimes there have been changes that have worked. For example, with Ultron, Tony Stark creating Ultron instead of Ant-Man. That works perfectly in the continuity of the Avengers in the films.
But the Ultron's mouth moving is just dumb.
That's stupid. He's a robot.
Exactly. Doesn't need to move.
And even, funny enough, the Unbeatable Squirrel comic kind of made fun of that in the latest issue, where he's kind of like multiplied himself as almost Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles mouses. And there's literally the front cover just says, "I, Ultron Squirrel Girl, I'm going to destroy you with my mouth." And it's just like...
That's quite funny.
He doesn't need a mouth. It's kind of dumb. I don't know. Maybe someone doesn't understand design.
Possibly.
But yes, maybe someone didn't watch Metropolis. But yeah, I just really, I don't want it to be weak. I want this to be a show that I do enjoy. I want to literally go, oh man, this is great and all that, you know. But yeah, like I said, I don't want to be constantly dusting off my comics and going, why didn't you do that? Like
it works so well.
It works so well. There's great concept in the series, and when you kind of literally go, we're not going to do that good concept, we're going to do something lamer.
Yeah.
You know, you're just asking for hurt.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the series looks better than Inhumans, so I can't really complain.
Yeah, I still haven't watched that.
You don't need to.
But talking about something else that Marvel's regretting, it's, they decided to weirdly partner up with Northrop Grumman, which I'm probably pronouncing wrong, but oh well, which is a military defense contractor. Now, whilst they don't actually make guns
and
per
weapons,
se,
yes, we should state.
they make like bombers, like plane bombers. Sorry, I've got the whole list here. More aerospace technology, laser weapons, and cybersecurity and drones. Which
real friendly company.
Yeah, definitely something for the kids to aspire for.
Exactly. When you told me about this, Ace, I was like, it was very funny, and I was also kind of shocked at the same time because it was like, it's actually one of those cases of, what the hell were you thinking?
I know it doesn't make any. I mean, apparently, according to their statement, Marvel tried to backpedal a bit here, and they said that it was meant to focus on aerospace technology and exploration in a positive way, but because the spirit of this intent didn't come across, they've stopped the partnership.
Well, of course it wouldn't. I mean, let's put it this way: in current times, the one thing, warfare is a hot topic issue.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, understandably, are against war. You know, even the current wars we have in this country, even going to war, fear of war. Hardly anyone wins in war. Very few people profit from it, simply put. And for them to partner up with someone who has military in their name, without knowing what they do, immediately they're going to go, immediately they're going to start thinking, they're trying to sell weapons to us, they're trying to get us to join the army, all this other stuff, especially to an audience that is both not interested and even too young to even want to even comprehend these kinds of stuff. It's ridiculous.
I mean, if they wanted to do something as a way, as they apparently said, to try and get, support STEM fields and get kids to know about STEM fields, then how about like partnering with something that doesn't build military equipment?
Come into the schools and talk to the kids about the stuff you do.
Yeah. Or partner up with people like NASA or companies in Silicon Valley.
Yes.
It's like, so you can do you can work in Silicon Valley, work in programming, no matter if you're a guy or a girl or anything.
Do anything that's just not gonna
support the military industrial complex.
I mean, you can, in terms of supporting the military and all that kind of stuff, that's up for you guys to decide.
The military itself, fine, but the whole industrial complex itself is not something to support.
It's not something that simply should be partnering up
with
something as colourful and carefree as Marvel.
Or at least what should be colourful and carefree.
Yeah. But it's, I mean, and here's the other thing as well. I understand that one of the main inceptions of comics was to sell advertisements to children.
And there was propaganda, Captain America punching Hitler.
Tons of stuff, and,
Batman
don't do
selling
this,
war
do
bombs.
that, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's coming back to the same thing that Marvel, for whatever reason, keeps doing, where they're trying to appeal to their core audience and give them things that they don't want. They don't want to be reminded about how much the real world sucks. They don't want to be reading stuff that does come across as propaganda, does come across as shady or downright wrong for them. And I mean, comics are supposed to be a form of escapism, and once again, they're breaking that, because at the end of the day, in the back of your mind, you're going to go, something doesn't feel quite right about it. Something's not quite true about this. This isn't a guy writing a story about Captain America and Scarlet Witch going on a secret mission to stop the Red Skull or something like that. It feels like, it feels wrong and deceitful.
Yeah. And, I mean, obviously you can do stuff in comics that's apart from escapism, but at least be smart.
Yes.
That's why, like writers like Alan Moore, for example, people like so much. He's very smart with his writing.
You know, he can add lots of commentary in there, and even if you look at a lot of his work that do tackle commentary have weirdly become true in a lot of sense.
Yeah. And Chris Claremont as well. He's been noted for social politics in the X-Men comics.
Yes, I mean that's the whole point of the X-Men.
Yeah. But
and once again, I mean, even if I just have to keep screaming this to Marvel, what are you expecting? The special snowflakes out there that are going to lap up you doing this politically correct stuff and all this politics stuff, they ain't going to care. They ain't going to have your back on this.
Well, they got pissed off.
Of course they
rightfully.
did. Too right, understandably. I mean, and there's even that great tweet where Marvel was talking about their like little booth at Comic-Con.
Yes.
And I just want to quickly read it, where it was like, this is coming from Marvel Entertainment, official Twitter page, where they're like, Marvel and Northrop Gunman joined forces. Come check out the hashtag Marvel NYCC booth tomorrow at 3 p.m. And then it's just followed up with a tweet saying this event has been cancelled
at 12:34 a.m. I love that.
Yeah, because it was just such a negative backlash, and too right, because it's once I said it's something people don't want to deal with. Full stop. And it was such a bad,
I know,
decision to move on their part, and I really do not understand it. It is ridiculous, but final thing to do with Marvel.
So Fox obviously do the X-Men films
poorly.
Yeah, there've been some okay ones. I think it's very divided.
I think their management is poor.
Yeah, and recently the trailer, which came out on Friday the 13th,
spooky.
Which I appreciated it, for the New Mutants being the horror superhero film, and I enjoyed the trailer. I know a lot of people got a bit hung up on Pink Floyd's The Wall being used, but I think it made sense.
There's a reason why people are hung up on it.
I think it made sense in context of X-Men.
I think it does and doesn't.
In what way?
The thing with the song itself and what it's about, so you have the main line I think people are kind of hung up with is, all in all, you're just another brick in the wall.
Yeah.
That kind of does go against the whole point of a mutant, because no, they're not just like everyone else.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. The whole point of that song is, at the end of the day, you're nothing special. You're going to be this and you're going to do that.
Yeah.
That's kind of the opposite of the mutants and the X-Men in it all, but at the same time, I can understand how it can be used in the sense of, given this context, you being a mutant, that's nothing special. At the same time, I get that. But I think the biggest issue, which a lot of people haven't been saying for me, because I got really confused by this trailer. So I was just going to get straight into this because I got quite a bit to say and I really don't want to bore people. But I was watching the trailer and I was surprised and I was like, this is really cute. They think they can make a horror film, because this film is not scary at all. It's not a horror film at all.
Yep.
And then I heard obviously the Pink Floyd's version of A Brick in the Wall, and I was like, what is this whack version of the song?
Yeah.
It's one of those movie trailer revibes where they just like...
They edit bits in.
Yeah, and then I was ready to write this film off, and then I saw the logo for this film.
Yeah, the New Mutants.
Yeah, and I went...
it's got a very 80s slasher vibe.
Not quite.
It does to me.
No, you're right, but at the same time, I was like, that looks familiar.
Okay.
It's scarily close to the typography of the front cover of Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Yeah.
And I was like, 2 references to Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Okay.
Why are you making so many references to this album? So then I did some comparisons and I did some looking around, and there's some weird coincidences in this film. So obviously you got the song and all that, then you got a lot of visual images to injections and blood, much like in the later parts of the film where he literally is getting blood injections and there is a visual image of the same kind of shot of blood being taken out, and I was like, that's interesting. Also, you have the fact that obviously these characters are seeing weird delusions that aren't real based on exactly the events that the main character Pink goes through. And I was like, very interesting. Also, there's a guy pictured with a mask for no fucking reason. Very similar to the same mask in the same song, Another Brick in the Wall. It's just doesn't look as creepy this time. It's just a lame smiley face mask.
Okay.
And I was like, that's That's very bizarre. And also the face is coming out of the wall.
Yeah.
Exactly, was a very similar shot in Pink Floyd's The Wall, and I'm like, why the fuck are there so many references to Pink Floyd's The Wall and no one's talking about it?
Okay.
I don't understand what the fuck is going on, because it's weird. It's not just a coincidence.
I haven't done enough research into that part of it, but the bit that I have looked at is specifically cast, characters, and that kind of stuff. Because I'm an X-Men fan. I've read a lot of it, and I have actually read some of the New Mutant stuff, which this is quite inspired by the Demon Bear saga, in which one of the characters, being Danielle Moonstar, she's going to be the main character in this. She has the ability to project people's fears and illusions, like fears and desires, through illusions in the real world. So obviously that's where all the hallucinatory stuff is coming from, all that weird stuff. And all the characters here all do have their own problems in life and all that stuff from the comics, which I presume they're going to be focusing on in this.
Fair dues. But I still... The main problem I have is it is perfectly fine if you want to take references to Pink Floyd's The Wall. I have no issue with that. The issue I have is so many, and you won't say anything about it when it's very blatant.
It's possible he might have not necessarily been... I mean, I know it sounds a bit weird. I was going to say not directly inspired, and he's more been inspired by things that have also been inspired by that. Because when I saw the things going through the wall... First things I thought of was Nightmare on Elm Street and the film The Similars in '96.
Yes.
Which,
and he said that that's only a reference to Nightmare on Elm Street, and I was like, yeah, you can have that, because the faces coming out the wall is a lot more horrific in Pink Floyd's The Wall. It's literally animated and is literally a screaming face that looks like it's in absolute pain.
Okay. But
some of the other stuff, like, it's just too coincidental for it not to be... Even to the point where I was thinking, are you just ripping off the wall now? Dude, because this is a bit too coincidental.
I doubt he's ripping it off.
I think someone is. Because why choose that typography?
Well, the director's also one of the writers of this. And
of course.
Him and it's a friend of his who's writing it. They've both been like big fans of New Mutants, and they actually approached Fox themselves because they wanted to make it. That's what intrigued me the most.
Because I'll get this out the way. I don't think this film looks good at all. I think it's visually extremely very lame and dark.
Fair
and for a psychological horror, and I'm going to use quotation marks because this is not a horror film. It's not a psychological horror because they can't do that because no one will see it. They're supposed to be cinematically striking. This is not.
Is it not? I thought it was very interesting.
I thought it was a TV film.
I thought it was visually interesting.
I didn't. There's nothing in this film I haven't seen done better, to be fair. And possibly. I'm not trying to say the film is going to be terrible. What I'm saying is it's nothing special when your weird references to the wall doesn't help. Because it's almost as if you went, I'll take that. No one's ever seen the wall.
See, the weird thing is, and this is going to sound strange, this is my exact thought process to the Netflix show Stranger Things. Like, almost every bit, I was like, you just took that from something, you took that from something, and I couldn't watch, like, I couldn't enjoy it too much after that.
Well, it's fair dues. I can understand they made fatal errors in it, but at least at the end of the day, it was a somewhat more original, it was an original series. With this film, all I'm seeing is, I really like Pink Floyd's The Wall, but you've never heard of that. Possibly. And the fact that no one's mentioned it when it's quite blatant, because the main blatant one is you use a song from the same album that the logo inspires, and I'm like, someone's obviously seen it, someone's obviously put that reference in there, or taken inspiration, and you're not talking about it. Because if this film just turns out to be The Wall, I'm going to be incredibly pissed off.
I don't think it's going to be.
It's probably not going to be, but it's literally going to be the case of where the lies end. To some extent, because I've read interviews and he's like, I was heavily inspired by Nightmare on Elm Street and I like the New Mutants. And I'm like, but Pink Floyd The Wall. You listen to that, right? And he's like, I've never... Looks left, looks right. No, I'm joking here, guys.
I was actually going to say, if that actually happened, I was like, what?
No. I'm joking here. Just go with the joke, guys. Looks left, looks right. No, I've never heard of Pink Floyd's The Wall. Exactly.
Okay.
And it's and that's the problem I have, is I can't get into this film. And not that I'm saying that this is killing the film for me. It's just the scary funhouse look of the whole film is what doesn't make this film special at all. The only thing I liked was the fact that Charlie Heaton is in this.
Yeah.
And I was like, good for you, dude. And the only other shot I liked was when the hand came from the washing machine, and I was like, wow, I mean, I've seen that exact image a couple of times, but at least it's somewhat interesting, but it was kind of ruined with the big bang and loud boom, so I was kind of like, oh, so it's not going to be a horror film then.
That might just be the trailer. I don't know until...
Well, it's funny because I've watched the trailer so many times, you can actually see when the effect comes in.
Yeah.
Because they remove the lighting from the background, because the whole area is artificially lit with studio lighting, which is unfortunate, and you can literally see where the animation comes in, which is quite funny. That's not a fault of the film. I'm just saying it's quite funny because you can literally see where the scare's coming.
Yeah.
But everything else is just like, saving money in April.
I'm really looking forward to this. I really want to see it, and I think it's going to be fun.
All I would say is don't go into this film thinking it's going to be a psychological horror.
I don't think it's going to be psychological.
It's not. It's not horror neither. It's not a scary film.
I'd say it's horror to the degree of it's within the genre. Because there are so many horror films that aren't scary. Crimson Peak is a horror film. That wasn't scary. Mm-hmm. It's that kind of degree. You could put like Dracula, Hammer Horror. That wasn't scary, but that's a horror. And that's a classic. I'm not saying New Mutants is going to be a classic, just saying it's within the genre of horror.
Now that would really piss some people off, that statement right there.
2017, New Mutants is the new horror classic.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
No, it's just very underwhelming, and now I can finally just forget about it, because it's really nothing special, but at the same time I don't expect anything special coming from Fox. Because they don't give a shit. I'm
very excited, and I think the creator's heart is in the right place.
Definitely. He can't make a horror film to save his life, but his heart is definitely in the right place.
Don't know.
Simply put. Because, if his idea of horror is big bangs and loud booms, then, guys, you're in fucking trouble. Big time. Well,
it did super well.
What did?
It.
Oh, It.
Yeah.
So you should have said 2017.
It Chapter 1, I meant, sorry.
Chapter 1, Losers Club.
Yeah, Big Bang Loud Boom.
Big Bang Loud Boom.
That's all, the whole thing.
Basically, yeah.
Don Banks.
Yeah. I don't know. It's I can forget about this film now, because, the thing is, this film's going to come out, and everyone's going to have their opinions on that. But universally, 100%, I can confirm Dark Phoenix will be trash.
Okay. I'm going to take the massive contrarian approach, because I like being this. I think it's going to be the best space opera ever.
Ace, you do know people listen to this podcast and do have their own... You don't have to be that guy. No. We'll see. Maybe New Mutants will surprise me. Or maybe it'll be Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Maybe it will be It Chapter 2.
And at the same time, I would just... Even if the guy just comes and goes, I like Pink Floyd The Wall, it'll be fine. Yeah. But, it's just too much weirdness with this film. And it's just like... What are you doing?
Yeah. I am going to do my own, Pink Floyd The Wall research. And it's I have listened to it.
All you got to do is just watch the film. Yeah. And you watch the end of the film and you're like, wow, this looks like today.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
You're like, oh, no. Why did this almost 40-year-old album predict the future? Oh no.
This is my life.
Oh no, why are these people marching like Nazis? Oh no, this dictator looks like some guy I know. Oh. But no.
Is that Cheeto hair I see?
What is that? But let's move on to our final topic, and that is going to be that the Chicken Connoisseur, who is a YouTuber who has the series The Pengest Munch, is actually going to be getting his own TV series via Channel 4, which is a network in the UK. And I couldn't be more pleased to hear about this, because I think we are a big fan of the guy itself.
Definitely Elijah Quashie.
Yeah, Elijah Quashie, yes.
Pengest Munch is a great thing.
Great mini-series. Well, series, I should say.
Yeah. And I think it's definitely opened people's eyes to British cuisine.
Yes, I think so. And I think it's definitely shone a nice light on certain cultures as well, because I think a lot of people have bad stipulations with kids after school going to chicken and chip shops, and just because some of them do just be noisy and be inconvenient, but this kid is going out there, reviewing them and doing these kind of things. He's got class about him, he's got character to him, and even Channel 4 kind of saying that he's like an undiscovered like gem or like comedy, which I think was a nice quote, because he is secretly like very funny, and he is very, I've seen interviews, and he is very careful in how he presents himself and how he acts. So him having his own show where he's basically reviewing things and kind of, I think it's the Peng meter, I believe is what the series
Peng
is called.
Life.
Peng Life, yes. Hopefully there's a Peng meter.
Hopefully.
Let's get the animation going.
Yeah.
That show should be hitting later this year, so hopefully we'll give that. I'm definitely going to give that show my support.
Yeah.
As well, I think, although there is I believe a link to one of his episodes, we're going to put a link to one of the episodes of his series in the description as well, so you guys can go see, because I can imagine there's probably people going, who the fuck is the Chicken Connoisseur? What the hell is this?
How have I not heard of this master of food before?
Exactly. I mean, shame on you for not knowing about this. But yes, we just some good news to just kind of, so we had that nice contrast of everything kind of flowing even to our discussion, which is going to be a part 2, a podcast first. Now, obviously, in the previous podcast, me, Tourette, and Recess talked about the rise and fall of low-budget horror films, kind of talking about some of the more popular ones, the series, and how that whole, I was going to say sub-genre, but I guess how that whole phase, in some sense, kind of came to be and where it is and now. And after Ace listened to the podcast, he wanted to get on the action. So we kind of have Ace's side of it, kind of dishing out more of that part 2, more of them recommendations. Get that tab open, get that notepad open, and let's do this part 2 for the most part.
Okay, so obviously one of the interesting things about low budget horror films in general is how much they can get away with stuff.
Yeah.
That you just can't do in the bigger budget.
You can't make a horror film nowadays, simply put, because no one will see it.
Yeah. And doing the little low budget, you get away with that. You get try some interesting stuff. So I think the first recommendations I'm going to do is for I think it was a 2014 film. I probably got the year very wrong, called Creep.
Oh, if we're going to talk about Sinister.
Oh no, I don't. I think I watched Sinister and laughed and left it at that.
Sinister only has one good scene in it, but I think we might have talked about it on the podcast.
Is that the kind of Ghost World scene?
The Rejector scene.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
In Sinister.
Yeah.
Because that was well done.
Creep is a found footage film. It's about this weird guy who someone meets through Craigslist, and he wants to essentially film some footage for his son because he's dying of cancer and his son's not born yet. So he's doing all this stuff, like sitting in the bath, like pretending he's playing with his son, and he's clearly not right.
No, especially if you're going to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And he doesn't really seem to know boundaries, like instantly hugging the person doing the recording before they've even shared a few words. Definitely getting a bit weird, and I thought it was really good. Okay. I do also think that the less horror you've seen, the more you're going to like it, because knowing a lot about horror, you kind of see things coming a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to the sequel?
I am very interested in the sequel.
Okay.
Also, it is quite short. It's only like 87 minutes-ish. I think maybe even shorter than that. So that's one recommendation.
And it does kind of, because it is going with the found footage stuff, and obviously you have that, with found footage you have that low quality.
Yes.
And you have that, how'd you put it, you don't know what you can see or what you have seen in that kind of format, let's say, which is something that I think a lot of films in horror have utilised that very well, Blair Witch Project being one of the best examples.
You get to use less actors, you can utilise it in a different way.
And you also use your imagination.
Exactly.
Something most people don't have anymore.
Definitely.
This film is bad because it didn't explain anything.
Yeah.
I hate Blade Runner because they didn't explain that one scene. 1 star.
Yeah. Which actually leads on perfectly to my next film.
Blade Runner. Perfect for horror.
Best horror film ever.
Exactly.
No, it's Beyond the Black Rainbow. This, I think...
Cheery title.
Yeah. It came out in 2010. Essentially, the film is about a kind of new age psychic research institute where they've got a woman like basically kept there who has psychic abilities, and they're testing her to see not exactly sure what. I don't want to spoil anything really.
Well, if they don't explain it, then this film's garbage. I don't want to see it anyway, Ace.
And it's incredibly surreal at points. The art production is amazing. Like, it feels like you could have watched this film right next to 2001: A Space Odyssey, and it came out the same year. It feels like that. Pretty damn incredible. And I just hope more people see this, because it's a visually stunning film.
When did it come out?
2010. The director, which I think his name is amazing, by the way, Panos Cosmatos.
Is he an astronaut?
No.
Was his father an astronaut?
No, his father was a film director who made westerns.
Oh, interesting.
Specifically Tombstone. And he actually made this film off the DVD sales of Tombstone.
Interesting.
Because his father and mother both died.
Interesting.
Yeah. Highly recommend, and please everyone watch this. If you liked Under the Skin, you will love this.
Under the Skin is great.
Yeah, exactly. The two that I kind of want to lighten the mood a little. Some nice horror comedies.
I thought you were going to mention that, like, that other really messed up film where it takes place in a desert.
I don't think I know which one.
I forget what it's called. It's like super vague, but I forget what it's called, but it's like some film that takes place in the desert and you don't know what's going on, because it's literally just it's kind of I really should have gotten the name. And okay, you know what, real quick, we're gonna pause real quick, and I'm gonna get this name real quick, guys. Okay, I found the film. It didn't take long, but it's a kind of a film I couldn't remember the name of. Lake Mungo.
Okay.
Please go watch this film. Ignore the somewhat low rating somewhere.
Yeah.
This is a disturbing and creepy as fuck film, and it's very low budget the way it's shot, because it's one of those kinds of films where nothing is kind of happening, but everything is kind of happening. Please watch the fucking trailer, because it is creepy as hell. I'm very interested in it is one of those films where you watch and you be like, oh, okay, but then but when you start to think, and when you kind of start to see things that aren't necessarily horrific and horrible and scary, but the way they're presented and the way that everything is kind of composed and put together, you get this really creepy kind of feeling where you're just kind of like, it's just a video of some woman talking, but that how you've put that together over what she's talking about, and that footage and the way you've not really messed with it, but the way you've presented it, that's upsetting, because you're kind of almost expecting someone to just go Rah! But it never happens, because the film knows that what it's showing and what it's doing to you is scary enough. Very interesting. That was the one. I knew I was forgetting a film that I wanted to bring up, but that is one that needs to be mentioned, and I forget what year it came out in. Let me just double check. 2008, does it say there? 2008, yeah. Hardly anyone knows about this film, and I'm going to avoid that image, because you do not need to see that image. I didn't see it. To lighten the mood, I was just going to say... Can I do one more real quick? Go ahead. Troll Hunters. Oh, yes, Go see Troll Hunters. Troll Hunters is fantastic. Like, that's probably one of the most underrated, like, found footage films. Hands down. I'll sell this film so perfectly. It is the only film I have ever seen that looked good in Blu-ray. Yeah? Okay. It looks amazing, this film. And it's like, don't watch anything, just buy the film and watch it, because it is such an underrated film. So well done. Completely agree with that. Yes. Those are my two that I wanted to throw in there, but please lighten the mood, Ace. Lighten the mood. I always have to recommend this, because it's probably one of my favourite horror comedies. Stop with Blade. Okay. Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Yes, I still need to see this film. You really do. I really do. Stars one of my favourites, Alan Tudyk, which I even watched Moana recently because he's in it. The boy. So, yeah, he's amazing. The whole thing is a great kind of play on the whole idea of people go to a cabin in the woods. Yeah. And absolutely amazing. I've only seen one scene, and I was like, this is pretty Is that the gas station scene? Or... No. Okay. I'm not going to spoil that, because I love that. Fair enough. I laugh out loud every time. Fair enough. And a perfect film to go with this, which I already mentioned earlier, The Babysitter. Yes. Both of them great plays. And now I've got to talk
some foreign films, some horror foreigns.
Go for it.
The first one isn't really low budget, but it's more the one after that is, but they're related. Train to Busan, which is a 2016 South Korean zombie film. Essentially, people get attacked by zombies on a train. And I think during one of our secret projects, I actually mentioned something that was in a film that I saw recently. Yeah, that's...
So look out for that, guys.
Yeah, it's a Train to Busan. Funny enough, Edgar Wright actually said on Twitter, direct quote of like it being one of the best zombie films he's seen in a while. So, endorsement from Edgar Wright there.
You know it's gotta be good.
Exactly. And also, and this is associated with Train to Busan, Seal Station, which is an animated prequel by the same director. And it came out the same year.
That's cool.
So
I'm just real quick.
Yeah.
I really am a fan of prequels and advertisement that is animated, especially when you have great talent. The prequel animation to Blade Runner 2022, which was done by the director who did Cowboy Bebop.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Perfect.
Really amazing advertising. Just get 3 directors to do things to fill in the gaps in a non you have to see them to watch Blade Runner 2049.
Because it gets explained in the film.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And my last, I'd say, big recommendation is the Serbian film. No, Iranian film. Sorry. A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night.
Because I was about to say a Serbian film is a film.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't watch that film, guys.
I have not seen that.
Don't watch that film.
But yeah, A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night.
Still need to see.
I'd say it's a slow one, and I like it more as a mood piece than a film, more than anything else. And
don't spoil what it's about.
I won't. I'm not going to spoil it, but I will say it has some amazing visuals.
And also, when you do pick up the Blu-ray,
Don't
look at the back. Just watch it, please.
Also, don't read the top writing.
Don't do what I did with Under the Skin when I read the first line and had the film ruined to me.
Yeah. I hate when films like that happens.
Like
to films.
literally the first line, it was and I was like, oh, great.
It's literally on the front cover of A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. It says da da da, and you're like, why? Yeah, but one of my favourite visuals is when one of the main characters is on a skateboard and the person's like behind them, holding on to them, and it made me happy. It was a warm feeling.
Okay.
Very, very interesting film, and I have to see the director's film that's on Netflix now, being The Bad Batch. I haven't watched it yet.
No, I've heard of that.
But I've heard of a lot of critics saying that what they don't like The Bad Batch for, I loved A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night for. So maybe I'll like it more than they did.
Maybe you'll get like one of those weird cases where it's like a complete experience if you watch both of them back to back.
Possibly, yes.
Because sometimes that does happen.
Yeah.
But, whatever, film stands on its own.
Exactly. But those are my recommendations, other than stuff that was said on the previous podcast.
Any bad ones?
Bad ones? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just realised.
You have bad ones?
The Bye Bye Man.
Bye Bye Man's complete trash.
It's so it's my version of The Room in how it's so bad it's good. I love it. That train scene is the best thing I've seen in cinema in all my life.
I would throw one in there, and I would say Willow Creek.
Oof, okay. I don't think I've heard of Willow Creek.
Willow Creek is an abashed rip-off of a very famous film.
Okay.
Watch the trailer, and as soon as you see it, you will know what it's a rip-off of.
Oh, no.
It is an abashed rip-off.
Jeez.
And also the Bay.
The Bay, okay.
The Bay is such a stupid film, but I would say watch it if you want to see something so dumb that tries to act so seriously with found footage. Yeah. It's trying to rip off Wreck, and it just does such a poor job of that.
Is it better or worse than Quarantine, which is the American adaptation?
I would say it's better because it's an original idea.
Okay.
Quarantine's not.
Yeah. The only thing I know...
So I'll give the Bay that.
I think there's an actress in Quarantine who's in Dexter, and I was like, okay, and that's it.
That's all I know.
Yeah. I did actually just remember more of a, I wouldn't say classic, but early 2000s film, Ginger Snaps, I think people should check out. It's one of those, and it's not a spoiler, by the way, like kind of werewolf film. And I think it's very underrated. More people should watch it.
Yeah. And also, What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes.
Not a horror film, but we'll just end it on that film because everyone wants to talk about this film and they've got spin-offs and sequel films planned and all that rubbish. Yeah. Watch that film. It's very hard to find a Blu-ray of that film for some reason.
It's currently on Netflix, if anyone wants to watch it.
Yeah, because they still don't know what they want to do with it.
Yeah.
Because apparently because I think what's going to happen is, just to, real quick, they're going to be doing a spin-off series in New Zealand of it.
Okay.
But because of how bad it is to get TV shows from New Zealand to anywhere else in the world, Netflix is trying to snag it or possibly produce it.
Yeah.
Because they want to stay hot on it. Because there's a rumoured sequel happening about the other side, the other characters in that film.
Yeah.
And the spin-off is going to be about the other 2 characters who are in the film.
Okay.
So obviously we're kind of making a cinematic universe with this and everyone wants a piece of it.
What we do in the cinematic universe.
Yeah, there we go.
There
we go.
There he is.
There he is. And speaking of there he is, that brings us to the video of the episode, which is staying with Halloween and is also a hint to next podcast discussion. And that is going to be Trevor Something's Feel the Waves.
Nice.
This is a fantastic music video, fantastic animation, fantastic song. Please listen to it. If you are as familiar with the kind of music that is in here, you should definitely enjoy it. If not, hopefully you enjoy the songs. I think it's fantastic for what it is. It's a clear reference and homage, but at the same time it's his original piece of music.
Nice.
And we'll leave it at that. Anything you would like to add to this podcast, Ace?
I just have 2 minor corrections I'm making for our special projects that are coming up without spoiling it.
Sure thing.
I said Chucky came out in like 96 or something, which I was very wrong of. It's an 80s film. I don't know how it was that bad.
Okay.
I think it's because Bride of Chucky is 96 and I really like that one.
Oh, okay.
And there was another thing which I can't... Oh yeah. Friday the 13th, the character is not what I thought that name was called. He's Crazy Ralph. I got that wrong.
Fair enough.
So yeah, just thought I'd announce those.
Fair enough. We've got special things planned. One of the special projects we have is going up right after this podcast, and I'm going to apologise right now that the audio is not sounding correct. So it's not terrible, but I will apologise because I think it is partly my fault. So sorry if it does sound bad. All I would recommend is please do not binge watch it.
Yeah.
That is the only way to, I guess, remedy the situation. But hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And hopefully you guys will enjoy the next podcast.
Definitely.
It's going to be a fun one because it's already in planning to some extent. But yes, if that is everything, I'll end this podcast like I always do by saying I am the Angry Raccoon.
I am Ace.
And we will see you on the next podcast.
Of Dewey Son.
All right. Laters, guys.